Hey guys, I'm Erika Walker and this is Montoya. We're here today. Just want to share some tips about going virtual. This was our first month, October was, that we decided to take on doing 100% phone sales. So just kind of we have our scripts here. Yes, we still look at our scripts. Always have it pulled up. So we just want to kind of go through what we do. And we started out in the fields, going into people's homes, traveling, chasing leads.
Yeah.
This girl's committed, has no home, just chases the leads. So we were all in on this. How long have you been here?
I came to FFL in April, but I really didn't go all in until August. So August is my first month. So this is only my third month.
Dang.
What about you?
That's crazy. I've been contracted for a few months. Wasn't sure that I wanted to even be in insurance anymore, but decided, okay, I'm going to go all in, give this what I got. Got trained for a couple weeks, and then October was my first 100% full month. So, and just happened to do it all virtually. So
Sweet.
Was an ups and downs, and I think the first week and a half was just trial and error. Boy, I was like, am I actually going to be able to do this?
Yes, we are.
You know? But once you get in the groove, it's awesome. So we're here to share some of our tips of what we've learned through trial and error. Hopefully you guys will learn something from it. So we're going to let's just start kind of I'll do the intro a little bit of what I say. And then she's going to do the second part of the script. And we'll go over some objection handling.
Yeah. So real quick, what do you like to run when you do your telephone sales?
That's a good question. I just run instance and 1 month. So I've kind of I ran a lot of Florida leads just in the field. And so I picked that area. I've just been running those pretty much. So instance and 1 month. What about you? Same.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lead spend. What would you say your lead spend was?
Honest, I ran through so many of my old leads because when we would buy them and only go to an area for 3 days and go somewhere else, you have so many leads from other states.
Yeah, that's literally what I did my first week. I was like, I'm scared. I've heard this. I don't know. I want to go all in. So I dialed my old leads too. And then I was like, all right, well, I got it. Trial and error on the old leads. Let's buy some new ones.
100%. Yeah, those old leads were golden. So, all right. So pretty much this is the script that I say every single time. It's pretty straightforward. The one thing I've noticed too is over the phone, we've shortened down our script. It's not as lengthy as in home. Yeah. Because remember, you're doing it over the phone, right? And people can't see you. So pretty much just start off, hi Mel.
Yeah.
Hi Mel, this is Erika. I'm with the Benefit Center for the state of Florida. Sure, you're getting a lot of spam and robocalls, but this is actually in regards to a request that you made online for life insurance. I just need to verify a few things here so I can get this out to you. You listed your date of birth as this, is that correct?
Yes.
Perfect. Now, when you filled this out, were you looking to cover just yourself or did you have a spouse as well?
It was just me. I'm
just
widowed.
you? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, we're doing everything over the phone now, so it'll take about 10, 15 minutes. Why don't you just go ahead and grab a pen and paper and we can get this taken care of for you.
Awesome.
Perfect. If they say yes, I go right in. I give them my name. I have them write down my name, my license number, my state license number, and I say, hey, you can verify me with the state. If they say, oh, I'm at work, some people like to schedule appointments. I don't schedule, and you don't either.
I never schedule.
Yeah, we don't ever schedule appointments. Mm-mm. So if they're at work, I just say, hey, when are you off of work? And they're, say, around, 5 o'clock. I just let them know, cool, I'll give you a call back around 6. Very nonchalant.
Yeah.
Because I think we've both kind of found this out, that if you set an appointment and people no-show you, you've burned that lead, because then now they're embarrassed. They don't want to pick up the phone when you're calling them again.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So that's something that we did trial and error on. Mm-hmm. And then I just go right into, after I have them write down my license number, I go into now, have you been looking around for life insurance, or am I kind of your first stop? Trying to be approved for a while, so I can kind of understand where they're coming from, if they're a shopper, if they've gotten denied before. And then I just say, now, Mel, this is going to be super easy for you then. What I do is I'm a broker with the state of Florida. So pretty much what that means is that I do all the different life insurance companies. So I can pull them up. So it's kind of, and I use the words one-stop shop. People like that. They think of like Expedia.
Yeah, I like to say Expedia.
Yeah, that's what you do. That's a good one.
Do you know what Expedia is? They're like, yeah. And I'm like, that's basically what I am.
I use Expedia all the time. I don't even go on the airline carriers anymore.
Absolutely. Nope.
So, letting them know like, hey, this is going to be super easy for you. It's a one-stop shop. Yeah. I can pull up all these options. Yeah. And then I go into, hey, it's easier than meeting with 20 different life insurance agents. I can pull everything up. But I'm not going to give you 20 different options.
No.
I let them know process is really simple. I'm going to ask you some medical background questions. I'm going to put your information into the system, and then that'll give me an idea of what carriers may or may not qualify you.
Yeah.
And then pretty much go from there. I let them know, hey, I'm on the underwriting. My job's to get you approved, but you can't just buy life insurance. It is something you do have to qualify for. Mm-hmm. And I letting him know we added in this line that really helped us was you're not going to be able to pay for anything today.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are like, well, I just want quotes. I just want this. Okay, well, you can't. Sorry. The only thing we can do is fill out an application, see if we can get you approved.
Yep, that was the one thing we got a lot of especially over the phone. I just want a quote. Give me a quote. So saying that line like, hey.
What do you say? What do you say when someone says, I want a quote? Like, what do you say?
Dude, I'm like straight up.
Tell them what
I tell them a quote's not going to save your family if you die tomorrow. Because it's not.
And we're like, it's not.
And then that actually, some people are like, yeah, you're right, you know. And I've been able to turn quite a bit of people when you're direct like that. Mm-hmm. But adding in that line like, hey, Mel, you're not going to be able to pay for anything today. Yeah. Nothing's going to come out today before we can make any decisions. Yeah. They do need to get you approved first. So, and then I go into, the medical questions. In the financial inventory sheet, pretty much.
Do you skip anything on the financial inventory sheet, or do you just tighten it up, make it quick? Like,
what
do you go through?
For me, I kind of hit on everything. The employment is the main thing. Mm-hmm. If they're, when you give the options of why they're wanting life insurance for, the one of 3 reasons, if they say they want to cover their mortgage, I go into more depth about their mortgage. Because that's what I'm going to be having to cover.
Yeah.
But, you have to remember, like, you're on the phone, right? Yeah. So I'm not having their full attention, and they're giving all this information to somebody they can't even see. Yeah. So I do hit on everything in that financial inventory sheet, but I kind of tighten it up and make it kind of quick.
I feel like you can be pretty thorough, like pretty quick with it. Like, you don't have to, go super, super in depth, but like the key points, like medical questions, their age, occupation, how much they bring home, and then, okay, how much do you have left over, at the end of the month? After paying bills, because you kind of know like
what to
work. You know? I think that's super important. Because a lot of people are like, I'm on the phone, I want to skip. Don't skip it. You need that. You know what I mean?
Because especially, from my experience, I skipped the whole financial inventory sheet in the beginning when I first started. And I'm like, why can't I write these policies? Yeah. Like, why am I not selling? Yeah. I've been in insurance before. Yeah. And so that financial inventory sheet is golden, because if you don't know somebody's problem, you can't sell them, right? Yeah. If I would give quotes to people that they were like, I don't even need that. I have this much money in the bank, or this is the need, and then you've lost them.
Do you ask them any questions that aren't on the financial inventory sheet that like could help you get more information, whether it's that like beneficiary or, just anything that to really help you like figure out like their why, or not necessarily their why, but like,
more information?
Yeah. Like, do you say anything?
Yeah, I started asking them if they put any money into savings, because we have a great cashback option.
True.
Right? Our CBO product. Yeah. And so if they're saving money, if they're putting $200 in savings, I can really use that to my advantage, that it's like, hey, this is exactly like putting that money away. Right. Yeah. And then I ask them how much their bills are each month. Oh, so that's one that it's like, then I can kind of gauge, when they tell me if they make $5,000 and their bills are $2,000, there's no reason you should not be able to afford a policy.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you can kind of use that as leverage. What about you?
Same thing. After I fill that out, like once I'm done with that, then I just ask them, okay, Erika, so something were to happen to you yesterday, who would be in charge of everything today?
Yeah, I say that too. That's
write it down. I need them to tell me the name, because once I move forward and get to the, like the, the quotes or whatever, that's when I bring up their name. You know what I mean? And then obviously, 3 reasons why they filled it out.
And I think over the phone too, saying that and asking like the names of their beneficiary, like painting that picture is super important.
You want to pull the heartstrings because you're not in front of them. So it's easier like when you're in front of them to, bring out the emotion. But on the phone, like you have to be like kind of quick, kind of thorough, but like pull them.
Still make an impact.
Yeah. I just want to know because
that's really good.
I think you're really good at that part.
Yeah, you too. Okay, so why don't you go into the next part of what you do?
Yeah.
Do you want to go over that?
Yeah. I mean, from that point, like if I'm not too sure which carrier to put them with, I'll, get on Slack. And then at the beginning, we kind of missed it, but at the beginning, I'll usually ask people like, hey, do you have access to your email? Like, are you pretty tech savvy?
That's a good one.
Because if they're not tech savvy and, they don't have access to their email, going through America is going to be kind of tough. And then Aetna has a security question. But what I'll say, exactly what you say. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put your information in the system. It's going to let me know who you might have a chance of getting approved with. And then I'll, go through America, fill it out. Or, go through Aetna. I fill out everything but like social last, right? So if someone, gives you pushback about, hey, why do you need my social? What do you say?
This is good. So I started waiting to the very end of the America to ask for the social. So like she said, fill everything out. And I say, okay, Mel, I'm going to email you a medical release form. You're going to sign it. And this is how the company is going to check your medical background. Yeah. And then I ask for the social. So subconsciously, there's a reasoning behind as to why I'm asking for their social.
Right.
If I get any pushback, I just say, if they're like, why do you need my social? Well, it's for your insurance application. Yeah. And then if they say even more pushback, then I say, like I said, this is your medical records are attached to your social. We don't do any blood work or in-home exams. This is how an insurance company is going to either decide if they want to approve you or not.
Yeah, that's literally what I say. And then what if, someone can't get approved with America? Like, are you telling them, like, what carrier you're going with? Are you telling them pretty much the same thing? Like, I say the same thing every time. So for me, I plug, and I'm pretty sure you do this too. Most of the time we plug everybody into America first. Yeah. That's how I say, we're going to put your information into the system, plug it into America. If it comes back declined or approved, I still say the same thing. Yeah. Well, great. It looks like I have a company that I think you have a good chance of qualifying for. Yeah. So same thing either time. I don't let them know that they got denied by America, but then I have all of their information, so then I can just pivot to another company. Cool. Yeah.
And do you quote people prices before?
Oh, yep. So run them through America first. Yep. Obviously, great products for them, cash back and all that. So yeah, once I know that they're pre-approved, then I'll go ahead and lay out the 3 options. And the way I lay out the 3 options is I typically do, bronze, silver, gold. And I'll just short, simple, sweet, I'll be like, okay, Erika, so go ahead and grab the pen and paper. I'm going to go ahead and have you write down 10,000, okay? And then write down 20,000, and then write down 30,000. Okay. And then if it's through America, I'll talk America up before. If it's Aetna, I don't really talk it up. I just say, okay, so what we're going to try to get you approved for is a whole life policy. And I'll explain whole life. Okay, you get this much, this lasts your entire life. If something happens to you and you have, heart attack, stroke, something, you start smoking down the road, it's not going to increase your premium, decrease your coverage. You're locked in, it's whole life. And then, I'll just talk it up, and then I'll have them write down the price underneath. I don't say, okay, now go ahead and write down the price is this. I just say, okay, go ahead and write down, we'll just say 100. And then underneath 20,000, write down 200. Underneath 30,000, write down 300. Just easy numbers. And then I'll be like, okay, so Erika, the first option is just the bare minimum, getting your foot in the door. This is just the $10,000 worth of coverage. It's going to take care, back up. So when I'm doing the financial inventory sheet, I'll also ask him, do you want cremation or burial? So we know, how much, to really quote them, you know what I'm saying? Yep. And then I'll just say, okay, so it's $10,000, just getting your foot in the door. It's going to take care of your cremation, and it's going to leave, I say the beneficiary's name. So it's going to leave, Roger the X amount of money behind. Okay. And then I go to the silver category, which is kind of basically the program I want them to get. Yeah, it's pretty, average. And I'll just say, okay, now this is what most people do go with. it's $20,000 of coverage. It's going to take care of your cremation, but it's going to leave Roger a lot more money behind to take care of anything that you've left behind. And then I'll just go the last option. And the last option, like I max out the coverage. I wasn't doing that. I was not doing that for the longest time. And then I saw Josh, and I'm pretty sure you even did it. Mm-hmm. Like, you guys sell like the last, yeah. And I'm like, I didn't think they would do, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But people buy like value, you know? So, I'll show them, I'll max it out, and I'll just be like, it's going to leave behind 30,000 to so-and-so. And then I just put, obviously underneath that, $300 per month. Now, granted, if you were even able to qualify, Erika, would you want to leave behind 10,000, 20,000, or 30,000 to Roger?
The 20,000.
Okay, so I'm not sure if we can even get you qualified, but we just have to finish, filling out the application, see if we can get you approved.
Yeah, you do a really good job building the value.
That's kind of rough.
but you do. Like, I've heard you present. Like, and you do a really good job of building that value and making the connection with the beneficiary. I think using names is super important, too.
I always use the names because I'm like, I want them to know, like, hey, if something happens, like, what's it going to look like for, I'm just say Roger. I don't know. Roger.
Yeah. Yep.
But I think
I'm not dating a guy named Roger.
No, I don't even know Roger. But I think it's just, if I was sitting down with someone and they were like pulling on like my dad as my beneficiary, I'd be like, gosh, I'm gonna leave my dad.
It hits different.
Yeah, it totally hits different.
Yep. And I think that's the key to selling those bigger policies. Yeah. And, we keep saying this, but especially on the phone, like, it's about building that connection with your client and finding that information. I think Josh said it. Is this honest? Life insurance is not bought, it's sold. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And sometimes people buy things off emotion, but you got to add value. I mean, 100%. My bronze, silver, gold is like it's quick, but throw in a name, what that money's going to look like for them. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And then from there, I'll just, fill out the application. Now if I'm doing mainly before the signatures or like Aetna underwriting, whatever, I'll just say, okay, now 3 things will happen. Well, before that, I'll actually say, Erika, I take my job very seriously, okay? So I want to make sure you completely understand what you're trying to apply for today. So again, you're requesting the $30,000 of coverage. So when something happens to you, Roger's able to take care of your cremation, take care of everything you left behind, sell the home. Do you understand what you're applying for today? Mm-hmm. And then, I take my job very seriously. Like, I want to make sure this is comfortable for you. Life insurance isn't, 2-week insurance, 1-year insurance. It's life insurance. So, on the worst day of Roger's life, everything's going to be taken care of. And then I just tell him, 3 things can happen. 1, get approved, great, coverage is in place. The second thing that can happen is, they find something in your medical records, need to do a little further underwriting. Or 3, you can get flat out declined. Mm-hmm. See in just a moment. But I always tell them, after my applications that they've been approved. Do you tell them they've been approved? 100%, yep.
You don't call back? No. Now, if it's Aetna and it goes through underwriting, I tell them, it's going to take a couple of days.
Yeah, I tell them, hey, it's an underwriting. If you get approved, then you won't hear from me. You'll get your policy in the mail in a couple weeks. If it's denied, you'll get a phone call from me, and I'll joke around. You don't want me to call you, So then either way, it's saving me a phone call. If they're approved, I don't have to worry about calling them back. Hey, Mary, you're approved for coverage. I don't ever tell people, It's funny. I had a girl this morning that was like, I just want to quote.
What do you say?
And I literally was like, well, we don't even know if you're approved for it yet.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big thing on the phone is not, and I think new agents, because I did this when I was new too. I was like, I'm so desperate for the sale. Yeah. And it was like, okay, I'll call you back. And I was scared. And I'm just like, I really don't even know if you're approved or not. Yeah. Like, you can't buy anything today. And by the end of it, I twisted it to make it seem, of value to her. Yeah. And she was like,
it's not even that you twist it. It's just like logical. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I just made it like logical. I'm
like, when you get pushback or when someone's like, I want to think about it. I literally think about what? Yep. What do you want to think about? Well, I don't know, because they're going to tell you, they're going to talk. It's going to be awkward. They're going to tell you. And then if they give me, some more pushback, well, the company has to think about it first. Yep. You can think about it if you get approved.
You do a really good job of that too.
And then if they're like,
I got that line from
and
you.
I tell them, I say, okay, so, what do you have to think about? What happens if you come back in 3 days, you're like, yeah, I want this, and then we push it through and you're declined. That was just a waste of time.
Yep. You
know what I mean?
It's true.
So that's pretty much like that. But, pros and cons of doing things over the phone. You know, people don't want to give out banking over the phone. I feel like the 2 main things, 3 maybe you'll get over the phone is social, banking, and think about it. Quotes.
So then what do you say if somebody doesn't want to give you their banking?
The other day, this girl was like, well, I make it really simple, first of all. I asked them, okay, so we're going to go ahead and link up the bank account. Who do you bank with? Or just say, who do you bank with?
Bank of America.
Is that here in Phoenix?
Yep.
So I'll, Google Bank of America Phoenix routing number, and I'll get it up. And I'll say, okay, Erika, so the routing number I have is 1234556. Is that correct?
I'm not sure. Let me log in and verify it.
Yeah, you can do that too. But most of the time they're like, okay, cool. But
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I get that a lot. People are like, I'm not sure. Let me go get my checkbook.
And they can. That's fine.
Online banking.
Yeah, they totally can. But most of them, I feel like the older folks I speak with, they're like, go along with it. Because I'm already pulling it up, Younger ones, it's like,
like, I don't know my routing number.
So I'm like, okay, well, I got it pulled up here.
Yeah.
But yeah, she asked me, I got the routing number, and she's like, what do you need that for? And I said, your application. Literally, I was like, your application. Because less is more. But then you're not going to pull out today. And, then
I think it's funny when agents are like, they're not going to pull anything out today. It's to check to make sure like you've done fraud. No.
Just
their policy is going to come out of that bank account.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things I say. Like I'll say for your application. And if they ask more questions, or you're really good at it. So if someone's like, well, I don't want to give you my routing, or I don't want to give you my checking account number. Like I don't want to give you my checks,
Yeah, I asked them, and I got this from Josh. It's like, hey, have you ever written a check before?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? So that has your account number and your routing number. Like, that's meant to be passed around. Your debit card is what you don't want to give out because that's not meant to be passed around.
Yeah.
But your checks, your routing and account number, that's meant to be passed around.
Yeah. Or they'll be like, well, I'm not buying anything today. Yeah, this again, just for your application. Want to see if we can get you approved.
Yep.
And sometimes they'll be like, it checks for a couple things. It depends on how they're saying it to me, and like how to approach it. But sometimes I'll be like, yeah, they just want to make sure you've never had any insurance fraud, and that, if you do get approved,
that's true.
No more further steps. You're done.
Exactly.
And then that's that.
Yeah.
So those are like really main rebuttals I get. I mean, the think about it one is just silly. Think about what?
Yep, that's a good one. So what do you say once you've sold them and picked a policy? How do you close them?
Okay, so yeah, everything's done. I have them, write down on the piece of paper. They already have my name. They already have what they're doing. Have them circle it, and then I have them write down. Okay, go ahead and write down Americo, AMERICO. All right, you'll get a policy in the mail within about 7 to 14 business days. I need you to make sure that you call me, so I know you got it, so I can sleep good at night, knowing that if something happens to you, it's taken care of. The last thing we need is, Roger calling me and, confused about where his policy's at and you never got it, or, you know what I'm saying? Little things like that. Yeah. But then I just tell him, I give him my phone number. I'm like, here's my personal cell. I don't care if it's Christmas Day. Like, you give me a call. I'm here to answer your questions. I don't really leave him anything crazy.
You don't send him a lengthy email or anything?
I know. No, I think just how I am on the phone, I'm pretty personable. I feel like, so a lot of people are just pretty trusting. You know what I mean? I know people send out cards, and it's just a lot.
That's a lot. No, I don't send out cards.
Not doing anything.
It was funny. I was going to, and then it was in October. I wrote so much business. I was like, I don't have time.
Yeah.
Just.
But I saved their number and
put their number in, and I answer, call clients back if they call me.
I feel like that's a big thing. A lot new agents, even, it took me a while, but now I'm just like, when a client calls you back, answer the phone. What are you scared of?
Yep. Exactly.
Answer the phone.
Yeah, they're just people.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, basically.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool. Well, I don't know what else.
I'm trying to think of any other tips. I think the biggest thing with virtual is just getting over those objections with the social, the account number.
I feel like those are honestly the ones you're going to get. Did we talk about type of leads?
Yeah, we talked about type of leads. Yeah, I try in the beginning to always, when I'm filling out the Americo app, when I tell them I'm putting their information into the system, is to find something to connect with them on.
Yeah.
If they ask, you ask, oh, where were you born?
Yeah.
Oh, I was born in Oregon. Oh, well, I lived in Oregon.
Yeah, I think building it throughout
whatever it is.
The apps.
Yep.
You have so many questions you can ask them throughout the apps.
Yep.
Like on Americo, where are you born? Talk about it. Relate to it, you know what I mean?
Yep, I definitely think it's about the connection, and by the end of the phone call, you've built that trust with them. And so it's and I say, I'm your person. If you get any other calls, let them know you have it taken care of. Call me if you need anything, like you day or night, I'll be here. So
I know like you do like some live transfers, but like, are you relying on those all day?
No.
So what are you doing?
I'm calling. So I'm on phone burner, dialing my leads, my CRM leads. And it's not, cost efficient too. And I think if people, this job is a place where you can make a lot of money, but you have to work.
Yeah, I agree.
And we didn't hit our goals just by sitting and waiting for live transfers.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I will sit there all day and I'll dial the phone, $11 lead,
Oh yeah, and then it's your own live transfer, because that's what they're doing, is they're calling to get people on the phone and transferring them to us. So and I think it's a good way virtual if you're wanting to build an agency, is to have your new agents in contracting. Call the leads, your older leads, work them, transfer them to you. Have a system where you're compensating your agent. I mean, I'd rather pay my agent 10% or whatever of a sale I made than have it go to a transfer company.
Now, are you working like all time zones, or are you working, just like one area? You know what I mean?
No, so I've been spending a lot of time in Florida, and so I've worked Florida time zone.
East Coast.
And then, so East Coast time, and then I'd work West Coast time, and then if I wanted to get real determined, I'd work Hawaii.
I feel like you were up one night working. You were.
I was. Yeah, I sold a deal at 11:30.
Yeah.
And it was I had some Hawaii leads that I called.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's insane. Like, you literally can maximize all your time.
You work different time zones too.
Yeah, pretty much almost all of them, but Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which the thing is like, you can literally make so much money working all time zones. Like, you think about like I love going in home. Like, I might go in home a couple times, but like right now I'm trying to maximize all my time. Yeah. So for me, working East Coast, then Central, then Mountain, and Pacific, and oh my gosh,
it's crazy.
And leads everywhere.
Unlimited.
I'm like, what? Dang, we need to,
I'm ready to get to work again. Let's go.
What was I gonna ask? Yeah, no, you work all time zones. Yeah. What do you like most about doing telesales?
I think I like the most just the freedom, being home, cooking a meal, Do
you think you have to be more disciplined with your time?
100%. Yeah. I think it's especially, you take for granted too when you've made, a few sales and you're like, oh, I'm at home, I can just do whatever. It's like, no, push yourself. I remember I'd be till the last hour, like, okay, I'm not where I want to be for the day. Like, can I get one more sale?
Yeah. I don't feel like guys, we were together the whole month.
We were together.
So I'm asking the question, but they're good questions. But I don't think like the whole entire month I was ever like, I want to go sleep. Like, I was tired at some time, but I was never like, I'm just gonna let off. Like, or I want to go to the gym during the day.
You're very focused too.
I'm locked in. I'm like, okay, well, if I could do that in home, like that was my first month, like. That's
crazy.
It's got to be bigger than that.
You did in home, and you were like a beast in the home.
Yeah, I mean, this is only my third month.
Yeah.
So
and you're consistent too. Yeah. So that's just crazy.
And that was your first month. So looking at, we got November and December and next month,
Like, literally sky's the limit. I think the thing with virtual that I love the most is being able to really maximize your day.
Yeah.
And, you're working smarter, not harder.
Yeah,
I feel like, because I would think of, the drive time from to and from appointment getting no-showed, and I'm like, how many hours am I not working?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And costs, you don't have the hotel costs, you don't have the gas, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's awesome. I mean, we still do that. Like, we still go on travel trips and we'll, get with our people and get them going.
Yeah. But we are saving a lot of money on the travel stuff, like, and maximizing the day.
Absolutely. For me, it's like, okay, well, I can be in a penthouse looking at, the city and beach in Chicago and be living my best life.
Working with your team and doing telesales.
Yeah. Or go home.
It's just crazy.
I think that's why FFL is like untouchable, because you'll never run out of leads. CRM.
If you're in insurance and you are not at FFL, you haven't even touched the surface of what you can do.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I came from insurance, so did she. Mm-hmm. And I swear there is something magical when you pull up that map in the CRM and you can just pick anywhere and it replenishes every day.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Your resources are limited, you know?
It's insane. That's just crazy. Well, I'm excited to see in the next couple months what it's going to.
Me too. Are you like mainly going to do telesales?
Yep, I think so.
Me too. What's your goal? Like, obviously, what's your goal to finish the year? And then what's your goal, you know, for next year, personal and agency wise?
It's funny because I haven't thought too much of the next year for my goals because I was thinking so small. Awesome. So for this year, I want to hit my logo VP. We have a bunch of people in pipeline. We're seeing with your team.
Yeah.
And honestly, next year, my goals, I need to rethink my goals for next year because I was definitely thinking way too small.
That's crazy.
Way too small.
Yeah.
So what about you?
Just finish the year really strong, you know, VP, get, you know, people below me to get their logos as well. Personal production, just go ham. Like, I don't have a number, like, I want to do 50, I just want to go ham every day because I know, like, me being consistent, like, it's going to get me somewhere. Yeah. Next year, I would love to do Hall of Fame in 6 months.
Oh, that would
be
awesome.
From home, like, virtually. That's my goal.
That
and
would
just help
be
a lot of
epic.
people.
You can so do that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. So if somebody wants to join your team or is interested about FFL, how can they get a hold of you?
So my phone number is 480-450-6820.
That's your personal cell phone?
Personal.
Oh.
Call me. So yeah, 480-450-6820. And my Instagram handle is MELRMON.
Nice.
MELRMON. What about you? If someone wants to work with you?
Yeah, my phone number is area code 503-277-8687. So again, 503-277-8687. And then my Instagram is Erika Walker 33, ERIKA Walker 33. So
cool.
Awesome.
Let's go.
Let's do it. All right. Hope this helped you guys. Let us know if you have any questions or you want to work with us. We are here to help you master virtually or in fields, either one.
Yeah.
Have a good day.